Hi, I'm Dave Bundy, editor of the Lincoln Journal-Star, and we are here today for our Journal-Star editorial board endorsement interview with Piyush Srivastav. He is a candidate for District 2 Lincoln Public School Board, and District 2 is sort of a slice of the city in the center and off to the south and east a little bit. So we will begin by introducing our other editorial board members, and then we will get into the questions. So Natalia, you want to go first real quickly?
Yes, hi Piyush, Natalia Witta, president of the Journal-Star.
Hi, Natalia.
I'm Mike James. I'm the newest member of the board and a community member.
All right. In other interviews, he said just a community member, and I've said not just. You are a community member. So, Piyush, the first question for you, as we watch from the outside, school boards, school board members put themselves on the line. Especially in this day and age, people are asking hard questions, and it can be a difficult job. So, why in the world do you want to do this? And what experiences and attributes qualify you to serve?
Yeah, no, thank you for that question. Well, so why? It's because I have a passion for education, and I have passion for making sure that we're educating our kids, because our kids are our future, right? They're the ones who would be running our cities and states and the country. So, so there's no better thing that we can do than focusing on our kids' education. Also, my parents were educators, and I myself have taught in the past, and so this community has given us a lot, and I couldn't think of any better way to give back to this community than serving on the Board of Education, again, because of my passion. Why else am I doing it? Because I want to make sure that we keep our school board and our LPS strong. There are some
We've lost you for a second. We've still lost you. This won't count against you time-wise.
If only we could keep our Wi-Fi as strong as our LPS board. And
I know, I never know if it's ours or theirs, Dave.
Well, you and I are okay, it seems like.
That's true.
yeah, and I'm okay. So
Piyush, are you there?
Are they Windstream customers or Allo? Or
They're all good providers. I'm sure it's just the one.
Oh man, he's gone.
He'll be back. I'm gonna see about pausing us. And we're back after some minor technical difficulties. Piyush, thank you for being with us again. And we'll just kind of pick up where we left off. You had talked a little bit about why you wanted to serve on the school board. And now we would like to hear a little bit about how your experiences and your attributes will assist you and qualify you for service.
Yeah, thank you. So I have two daughters that have gone through the LPS system. Our older one has already finished her LPS tenure. She went to college, and in LPS, she was part of the LPS focus program called the Entrepreneurship Focus Program. And now she's back in Lincoln, so she works for the university and does marketing for them, and also started her own marketing firm. And the reason I'm mentioning that is that the LPS focus programs really molded her, and she started her own company. But back to my experiences. So she went through LPS, and our younger daughter, she's a freshman at Southeast High School. So we have been very involved in various things throughout their education. I also had the pleasure of being on the LPS Foundation board for 6 years, including as a chair of the board, and I got to learn a lot about LPS and the needs we have in our community. My wife, she had been on the PTO board for our daughters for many years, including as president. And I also believe that, my day job, which is doing environmental consulting, I have an environmental consulting firm. I am constantly faced with very complex issues. And, we have to look at things from multiple angles and then, be able to come up with solutions that work the best. And keeping everybody's best interest in mind. So that's what I hope to do at LPS. I want to make sure that we are studying everything, we're evaluating everything, but keeping our focus on student successes, things that will make our kids smarter, and things that will make our teachers get better at their job and stay here. So I want to make sure our focus is 100% on education and not on a lot of distractions that unfortunately these days we're all facing with.
All right, Piyush, your video turned off. I don't know if that was intentional or if your system was.
Oops.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah. When did it turn off?
Partway through your answer, but you were on a roll. I wasn't going to stop you.
Oh, yeah, I didn't touch a thing. So I don't know if you guys have control of that too?
No, that's not us.
Okay.
Well, actually, maybe it is, but I'm not very good at Zoom. So,
Okay.
So next question. Parents obviously play an important role in the education of their individual students. What role do you think parents, or what role would you like to see parents playing at an administrative level? Communicating with the board and people above their kids' own teachers.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. I mean, parents absolutely have an important role to play, and everybody should decide for their own sake based on their family values and whatnot. And I believe, I firmly believe that the LPS teachers do an excellent job of informing the parents about any what some may call controversial topics when certain lessons are being are planned to be taught, and they give the parents the option to opt out if they need to. So I think that level of parental involvement is very good and should continue, and I have no reason to believe it will not. But if we start talking about parents have a say in what I would call a day-to-day workings of LPS and teachers, then I'm not in support of that at all. For example, I don't believe that the parents should be involved in selecting what books are taught or what books can be put in the media centers in the schools. I think that should be left to the experts who have PhDs in this field of education. They are the ones who can come up with a correct curriculum, select the books, and make sure that it is what's going to be best for our community, for our students, who we want to make sure they are succeeding and becoming good citizens of our city.
All right, next question for you. What do you see as the most pressing needs in the district? First, as far as facilities, second, as far as staffing and personnel.
Yeah, so facilities wise, I'm happy to see that the LPS is continuing to grow, and we're adding, for example, new schools to make sure that our class sizes are not getting bigger, because that's extremely important. to make sure that it reduces teacher workload. Our instruction is informative, and kids are able to absorb most. So we need to keep adding more schools when warranted. As far as existing facilities go, we absolutely should be making sure that they're kept up to date. We need to have good HVAC system. I mean, the pandemic was a great example where we wanted to make sure that we have a good filtration system, and that way we can keep the educators and kids safe in our schools. We also need to make sure that we have proper playground facilities, and they're kept maintained. So that's important. And the second part of the question was, what was that?
The second part was staffing needs.
Yeah, staffing needs. Yeah, that's. I believe that's one of the most important issues facing LPS currently. I know so many teachers who are on the brink of quitting the profession, and we need to put a concerted effort to make sure that we're able to stop that. The teachers are under tremendous pressure. The behaviors have changed in the schools. So we need to make sure that we are able to stop that issue. And it's got to be a multifaceted issue, because the things because of which the teachers are on that brink is because of multiple things: workload, class sizes, student behaviors. They don't feel valued. They don't feel that their input is being solicited. So those things have to change. We have to make sure that we're including them in the decision-making process, and at different levels. And so we should be involving teachers of different kinds at different levels in decision-making, so that they can feel that they're valued. And not just that, they're the ones who are on the front line. So they are the ones who would have maximum experience as far as what needs to be done. So we need to do all of that. And we need to provide a lot more mental health support, not only to students, but to teachers, because that's been a big challenge for kids and the teachers, and for the families. And one other thing I believe that needs to be done is we need to provide some training for teachers, because there are so many new teachers who are just not getting the proper training, the proper support. So we need to have some people that can be dedicated to teaching, not to teaching, to training new teachers. I know that we currently have coaches in schools, and that's their job, but they are pulled in so many different directions, and they're called out to help with multiple things. And because of that, they're not able to focus on their real job, which is coaching the teachers. So we need to have people that can be dedicated to coaching or training teachers.
All right, the next question. How do you think LPS is doing as stewards of taxpayer money?
I believe they are doing a really good job. They have a hard job at their hands. Everybody wants to cut down on their taxes, and as far as the budget goes, we have advocates for every dollar that is spent. So LPS goes through a very comprehensive and open process of their budget to make sure that they are handling that money well. You got to realize that 90% of the LPS budget is spent on people. So also we have to realize that a lot of the portion of the budget is already allocated to certain things that we really don't have much control over what can be changed. Having said all that, I'm always looking for ways to improve things. So, and I know that they're also always evaluating more efficiencies in the budget process. So we should always be looking for what can be done differently. How can we manage that money better? We should do a thorough evaluation of all the programs and see if there's any efficiencies that can be gained. As an example, does it make sense to maybe subcontract out certain services without impacting our students in the classroom, such as maybe transportation, maybe janitorial services. So I think those kinds of things should be evaluated to see if there's anything that can be gained. But really getting back to your core questions, are they being good stewards of our money? I truly believe they are being good stewards of our money. But if I'm on the board, I'm always going to be looking for more efficiencies and make sure that we're always striving to do better.
Okay, next question. There's been discussion of school resource officers, police officers in school. There've been questions about the application of discipline, whether it's equitable sometimes, and then periodically you have a security incident, that involves a student or a teacher. How do you think LPS performs in this area, and are there things that you see that might be improvements or changes that you'd like to be a part of?
Yeah, so LPS has very good partnerships with
We lost you again. I'm gonna pause for a moment and see if we can get you back.
okay.
We're back after a non-commercial break. So Piyush, you want to pick up where you left off? We were talking about school discipline.
Yeah, we were talking about security, right? Not discipline.
Yeah, sorry, security and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so one other thing I want to say is that we are very fortunate that we have access to nationally recognized experts on school security. The name is escaping me, but our head of security at LPS is actually nationally renowned, and he goes all over the country educating other school districts about school security. So those partnerships that we have, for example, with our local law enforcement, are very important, and we must maintain those. What's really important is that we continue to listen to what our experts are telling us and keep implementing their recommendations. I also know that LPS has an annual security audit where they evaluate, all the security measures in place. So they need to be, doing that consistently. Having said all that, I mean, we all know that we've had a few incidences recently where the plan didn't work. So we need to look into what went wrong, what needs to be corrected. Are we not implementing the recommendation of the experts? So we should not be having such breaches. And so we also have some examples of where the school staff did an amazing job of handling the situations. So if I'm elected, I'm going to focus on that because there's nothing more important than keeping our kids and educators safe. everybody should feel safe coming to work and coming to school every day. So I will make sure that we study what goes wrong when we have these incidences and make sure that we put systems in place so that we don't have such incidences again, or at least minimize to the extent possible such incidences.
All right, well, we are, unless Mike, Mike, did you have any follow-up questions? If not,
I do have a follow-up question for, so you mentioned LPS Foundation board member. Could you just expand on that a little bit? What that was like, or what any stories you have from that activity?
Yeah, so like I say, it was a great learning experience for me to learn about kind of the functioning of LPS, and also more importantly, I got to learn about the needs we have in our society in Lincoln, the needs that different students have in our city, such as not everybody is equally fortunate, and also that we have a lot of very kind people in our city that are willing to support those who are not as fortunate. Things like not having access to internet when we were in the pandemic, because a lot of things had to be done remotely. So we provided internet connections to the families that needed help. I also got to learn about various scholarships that we have available for students, and various other mechanisms or means of funding that can go towards supporting student success and teachers. So that also gave me the opportunity to get to know our administrators well, and how they function, and got to learn about a little bit of the inner workings of LPS. By no means am I an expert. If I'm elected, then that's one thing I'm going to focus on learning all the details of what goes into running our education system, and then start offering my opinions when necessary. Getting back to the LPS Foundation, the other thing I learned is that there might be some things that we can do to help with our teacher shortages. For example, there were people that would sometimes come and be part of our meetings who are from other countries where they had a splendid teaching career, including being a principal of the school, or very well-respected teachers, but they're not able to teach here because of certain requirements. So we need to look into seeing what can we do to potentially get those people to start contributing towards our society, and help our workforce issues at LPS. So these are some of the examples. If you have some specific questions about what other things we did at LPS Foundation, I'll be happy to try to answer those.
well, we're actually pretty close to our 30 minutes, minus the other the commercial breaks. So
Yeah.
the last question I have for you is an open-ended one. What didn't we ask you that you wish we had? Is there something that you wanted to talk about, amplify, anything?
Just a few things that come to my mind are diversity. I think we need to do more to increase diversity in our schools. I don't believe that our workforce represents our community. And I think that's very important because we need to make sure that our teachers are reflective of who we have in the community, the students that are coming to the school. So that's important. We should work towards that. The other things that come to mind are that we haven't specifically talked about is we need to be inclusive. We need to make sure that we are truly implementing all means all. We have to make sure that we're welcoming everybody in our schools and making them feel comfortable and safe. Let's see what else. I think we covered a lot of important points. I think I talked about, I'm a firm believer in expanding our focus programs. So we need to keep our efforts ongoing towards strengthening them and adding more focus programs as the needs are identified in the community. And I guess one other thing I would say is that we're in a very different political climate these days. And so we need to just keep our focus laser sharp on education, and we need to make sure that we keep our board strong. We've had a strong board of education here in Lincoln, and we need to make sure that we keep it that way. And we need to have a board again that'll be just focused on what's important and not get sidetracked by national politics. That's another big reason for me running. I want to keep politics out of our education system. It doesn't help anybody. It's a distraction. It takes away from the limited time and resources we have to put towards education.
All right. Well, anything else that?
No, I should have made some notes, but no, I think that covers everything. We just have to keep focus on education, keep our graduation rates high, and keep doing the good job that LPS has been doing, and protect our public school systems and make it stronger.
All right. Well, Piyush, thank you very much for the time you spent with us. Thanks for your determination through our technical difficulties, and we wish you the best with your campaign.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your time.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. Yep.
Bye.
Bye.